September, and today we're looking at yew trees. Okay, well, as you can see, I'm in a graveyard at the moment, and there's an old yew tree here. You'll often find them in graveyards because churches are often built on old religious sites, and well, you can see by this tree, and there's the church there. This tree is clearly much older than the church and was obviously here before, and it's also hollow. And this particular tree, it's supposed to be cursed if you go inside it, but let's give it a go anyway. And yeah, you can see it's pretty dark in here, but quite fascinating. Where have you been all the day, me? And also down here, I don't know if you can see, there's some chicken of the woods that's really quite manky and mouldy, but often to be found growing on yew trees.
Chicken of the woods is one of the main fungi responsible for heartwood rot in yew trees.
And yew trees do have this habit of producing these kind of secondary trunks on the outside and then hollowing out in the middle, which makes them notoriously difficult to age.
The growth rate of yew trees slows as they age, as well as them being prone to periods of dormancy in which little or no growth occurs. It has been estimated that for the first 300 years of its life, a yew tree adds about an inch of trunk girth every 5 years. After this, growth becomes more erratic. Different areas of the tree may become dormant, and it is this that causes the apparent divisions in the trunks. There are certainly yew trees that are over 2,000 years old, and some have been estimated to be over 5,000 years old, making them contenders for the oldest living things on Earth.
Now, most parts of a yew tree are poisonous. The foliage is particularly poisonous to livestock, especially cattle, and yeah, when it dries, it becomes even more toxic to them. So cattle have died from eating yew foliage.
I had fish and I had broth. I'll make my bed, mommy do. Make my bed.
Now, the edible part of a yew tree is the berries, but only the red fleshy part of the berries, the seeds, are poisonous like the rest of the tree is. So when eating the berries, probably the safest thing to do is try and extract the seed before you put it in your mouth. But as you can see, they are really slimy, and it's actually quite difficult to do this. So really the easiest way is to put the berry in your mouth and spit out the pip. And when eating these, it is quite important that you make sure you don't swallow the pip. I've heard stories that 3 of these are enough to stop your heart, and someone ate one with a cracked tooth and cut the seed and made themselves really ill. But I don't think they're that toxic. Only evidence I've heard of anyone actually dying from eating yew is children eating the foliage. But yeah, best not to take any chances.
Bear in mind that all parts of a yew tree, except the flesh of the berries, are fatally poisonous: the wood, the bark, the leaves and the seeds. They also can produce an allergic reaction, which may be a problem for some people who are doing things like making longbows from the yew wood.
And one thing with yew berries is they are really, really sweet. You'll be quite surprised how sweet they actually are. They don't have much flavour, but they are very sugary, real sucrose kind of sugar. Now, yew berries, they don't intend to kill us by advertising themselves to be eaten like this, but normally they're eaten by things like birds and foxes, which they pass straight through the digestive system, whereas our digestive system's a bit stronger and will digest the seeds, hence they're a bit more toxic for us.
Our digestive systems are more effective at breaking down plant matter, and grazing animals are even more efficient at doing so, hence yew is very toxic to cattle.
Now yew trees have separate sexes on different trees, so you're only going to find berries on the female trees. And of course, aside from the edible berries, another traditional use for yew trees is using the wood to make longbows. And this is a yew longbow here. This one's actually a replica of one of the ones that was found on Henry VIII's flagship, the Mary Rose. And you can see it's got the heartwood on the inside there. And yeah, quite interesting, and it actually works.
With my boots on, I'm about 6 foot tall, so you can see how large this longbow actually is. Anyway, here's my friend John demonstrating it a bit more efficiently than I do.
What will you leave to your stepmother, me own dear darling boy? What will you leave to your stepmother, me own dear comfort and joy? I'll leave her a length of rope to hang her from a tree for poisoning me.
The yew tree has an ancient association with the supernatural, and in particular an association with death. Perhaps this is due to its longevity or its poisonous attributes. Perhaps it's due to its reputation for having hallucinogenic qualities and accompanying frightening visions. Whatever it is, over the millennia, reluctance to cut them down has left a legacy of ancient yew trees across Britain and Ireland.